This costs 3 tokens. This costs 15. The same 2 words, 5 times the price. And every single time an AI agent visits your website, and by the way, this is now happening billions of times a month, is paying 15 tokens, not 3, for 2 words. But not for long. The web is being rebuilt for AI, and today we're looking at one initiative that you can implement to prepare for this brave new world. This month, Gcore has launched a feature that lets any website on their network serve a completely different version of itself to AI systems. The same content, but stripped down to its skeleton. This is Markdown for agents. Now, Cloudflare launched their own version of this back in February. Google's most well-known search advocate has called the whole approach a stupid idea. Is he right? Well, I think you already know what my answer is going to be. This is a story about the future of the internet, and one about compute and energy, and whether your website exists at all in the future we are building. To understand why this matters, we need to go back to 1991, to a decision made in a physics lab in Switzerland 35 years ago. One man is the reason that your AI agent is wasting money right now, and his name, Tim Berners-Lee. He invented HTML for one simple reason. He wanted physicists at CERN to be able to click between documents. That's it. Hyperlinks between text files. That's the entire purpose of hypertext markup language, was to let one person see what was connected to what. Headings, paragraphs, links, and for about 5 years that's all the web was. It was black text on a grey background, no styling, no animation, no cookie banners asking for you to accept cookies in 17 different jurisdictions. Then we wanted to make it look nice, so we added CSS for styling, and then of course we wanted to actually do things, so we added JavaScript for interactivity. Then we wanted to sell things, so we added tracking pixels, analytics, scripts, ad injection frameworks, consent management platforms, A/B testing libraries, chat widgets, notification pop-ups, and, God help us all, auto-playing video. A technology designed to link physics papers now takes an average of 2.5 megabits to load a single web page. So I imagine that you're watching this right now on YouTube, and the page you're sitting on loads upwards of 5 megabits on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript before the video even starts playing. So that single page contains more code than every website that existed when the web first launched. In March 2026, the CEO of Cloudflare stood on a stage at SXSW and said something that made a lot of infrastructure engineers quietly update their resumes. AI bot traffic will exceed human web traffic by 2027. This is a staggering statistic. And by the way, it isn't just speculation from a startup pitch deck. Cloudflare processes requests for 20% of all websites on Earth. But unlike the COVID traffic spike, which surged and plateaued, this is a slow, relentless compounding climb. Right now, automated traffic already accounts for about 51% of all web requests. Datadome's network processed 7.9 billion AI agent requests in just January and February of this year. And here's the thing that nobody's talking about. Every single one of those requests, it's reading your website the hard way. When you open a website, your browser takes all of that HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and it renders it into something beautiful. As we know, buttons, colors, layout, but you never see the code. But when an AI agent opens that same page, it doesn't care about the buttons or the layout. It just needs the text. That's it, the actual information. And yet it has to swallow that entire page. Every div wrapper, every script tag, tracking pixel, you name it. Now, if we use a single blog post from the Gcore site and we run it through a token calculator, you can see the difference in tokens when it's served in HTML. This is what it looks like when we serve it in Markdown. In general, there's about an 80% reduction. Or to put it another way, 4 out of every 5 tokens in an AI agent processes on a typical web packaging are not content. So then, we have a problem. The web is built for human browsers, but increasingly, as we know, the things reading it aren't human, and we're at a crossroads with 2 very different paths forward. In the first path, we have the clumsy robot. You've probably seen demos of AI agents using a computer, Anthropic's computer use, OpenAI's operator. These are AI systems that literally control a mouse and a keyboard, clicking through websites the way you or I would, opening menus, scrolling, waiting for pages to load, dismissing cookie banners. It works. Well, kind of. The way a toddler driving a car works, technically the vehicle is moving forward. Now, these browser use agents are burning enormous amounts of compute to do something incredibly simple: extract text from a website or do basic functions. The second path is what I think is going to win. Instead of forcing AI agents to navigate the human web, you build a parallel layer, the same content, different format, and when an AI agent sends a request and says, "I'd like Markdown please," via a standard HTTP header that already exists, by the way, this isn't new technology, the server responds with a clean, structured text. This is content negotiation. It's the same mechanism that lets your browser request a JPEG instead of a PNG, or JSON instead of XML. It's how the web has worked for decades. The same URL, the same content, it's just a different representation. And the efficiency gains aren't marginal. We're talking about 80% fewer tokens per page at the scale of billions of AI requests a month and growing. Now that's not an optimization, that's a fundamental shift in the economics of how AI interacts with the internet. Now remember, I said Google called this stupid. So let's talk about that, because it is actually more interesting than it sounds. Now, in early February this year, a few days before Cloudflare launched their version of this, a developer posted on Reddit describing a plan to use middleware to detect AI user agents and serve them raw Markdown files instead of HTML. Google search advocate John Mueller responded across multiple platforms. On everyone's favorite social media platform, Blue Sky, he wrote, "Converting pages to Markdown is such a stupid idea. Did you know LLMs can read images? Why not turn your whole site into an image?" Well, his argument boils down to 3 points. First, LLMs have been trained on HTML since the beginning. They can parse it fine. In fact, they might be better at it than Markdown. Second, creating a separate version for bots is cloaking, showing different content to machines than to humans, which Google has banned for over a decade. And third, if search engines need to verify that your Markdown matches your HTML, then guess what? They have to crawl both versions, which doubles the load and negates any efficiency gains. Bing's Fabrice Cannell piled on too, warning that they'd crawl both versions anyway to check similarity. And here's the thing, Mueller is right, but there's a crucial distinction we need to point out. The developer on Reddit was describing user agent sniffing, detecting when a bot visits and serving it a completely different page. That is cloaking, and Mueller is correct to push back on it. If you build separate Markdown shadow pages and only show them to AI crawlers, then you've created exactly the kind of divergence that bad actors exploit. But here's what Mueller never addressed. He never addressed the 80% token reduction. He never addressed the compute waste, the energy cost of processing 5 times more data than necessary across billions of requests per month. And critically, he conflated 2 very different technical approaches. What that Reddit developer described is user agent sniffing. What we've built is content negotiation. In content negotiation, the AI agent sends a standard HTTP header saying, "I prefer Markdown," and the server responds with the same content but in a different format. Now, this isn't cloaking any more than a website serving JSON to an API client and a HTML to a browser is cloaking. It's simply how the web was designed to work. So let's bring this back to what actually matters. What do you do about it? Well, if you're running a website in 2026, especially if you're serving technical content, documentation, product pages, or anything that AI agents need to reference, you need to start thinking about your site the way a restaurant thinks about Deliveroo. You still need a beautiful dining room for human customers, but you also need a streamlined, efficient pipeline for the delivery riders who just need the food. Now, Cloudflare were first to market with their version of this, credit where it's due. They shipped Markdown for agents in February and it works. But their implementation is only available on Pro plans and above, and it is of course entirely tied to their ecosystem. It's a black box conversion you don't control. At Gcore, what we built is a fast edge to handle exactly this kind of problem at the edge, but with full transparency and control. Now, we're running WebAssembly over 210 edge nodes worldwide, which means you can deploy lightweight conversion logic, HTML to Markdown, content negotiation, token aware responses directly on the infrastructure closest to where the request originates. There's an average global latency here of about 30 milliseconds. Now, the practical difference matters. With Fast Edge, you write a small WASM application that intercepts incoming requests, checks the accept header, and if the client is asking for Markdown, it strips the HTML response down to clean, structured text before it reaches the agent. You don't have separate pages, there are no shadow sites, and there's no cloaking involved, and you own the logic and you control the output. You can customize it to your exact needs. Now, it's going to run as a template in Fast Edge that you can simply apply. It's really easy to use, and now let me show you how you can set it up. So once we're logged in and we're in the Gcore portal, the first thing we're going to want to do is to set up the HTML to Markdown template. Now, ordinarily, this would be available by going to Fast Edge and then selecting the template in CDN resources. Now for latency, remember we're setting this up as a CDN application, not a HTTP application. But in this case, we're going to set it up directly from Gcore's GitHub repo. And we're going to do that by pressing that bright orange deploy button. Once we've redone auth, that will take us to the CDN applications in the FastEdge. Creating an application for the template is the next step. You'll see I forgot to name it, so it just chooses a name for us, Holiday Infant. Now what I've done this week is ask Claude to turn this week's script into a website for us in rendered HTML. I've set that up on GitHub Pages. That lets you host something for free. And look at this, look how pretty it is. It's in our brand colors. We've got a nice little timeline there showing the history of websites, when HTML was invented and when CSS arrived. It's pretty neat. Now we want to attach this to the template application we set up on FastEdge, so that when an AI agent comes to scrape this, they get served Markdown and not HTML. Now I bought myself a very cheap domain on GoDaddy.com. I think it was about 80p, so $1 or so. Now of course you could use Namecheap or Porkbun, whatever you prefer. I already had a GoDaddy account. So here we are back at the Gcore portal. Next, we want to go back to CDN. We're going to create a CDN resource, and then we're going to press Do Not Delegate. The delegation will stay, in this case, with GoDaddy. There is some security we can add here. It's well worth taking advantage of the free trial, but for the purposes of this video and to keep us on track, I'm not going to do that. The origin will be my GitHub page. We'll leave the type of authentication blank, and we're going to create the resource. Now we need to go back to our DNS hosting provider, GoDaddy. Next up, we're going to need to create an alias record in DNS with that reference we just saw. So it's GoDaddy, DNS records, and we're going to go to CNAME and harryverity.xyz. We're going to select it and edit the value. We'll leave CNAME domain connect alone, and we're going to put in the value that Gcore gave us. Change the TTL to half an hour. Now here, the name should be www. Not www.gcore.com. So I'm saving your bacon here. You're going to see me going back and change this in about 2 minutes. So we've now updated our DNS records to point at Gcore. We're going to go back to the CDN portal at Gcore, and there's a few settings we need to update in the app. We need to make sure we're using the secure version of HTTP, which is what GitHub Pages uses and expects. We now want to scroll down to the FastEdge settings. Ignore the more general headers. We only want to edit the FastEdge headers. Scroll down to FastEdge apps. Now we want on-request headers and on-response headers turned on, so it can pick up the content negotiation and apply it to the request. We want to select our FastEdge app. Remember, we forgot to name it earlier, so we've been assigned a name, Holiday Infant. Hopefully not a sign our app is going to misbehave like a toddler. Now, as I said earlier, here I am correcting a mistake I made earlier in GoDaddy DNS settings. You don't need the whole website, just www in CNAME, so make sure it's set to half an hour. The next stage is setting up our SSL certificate. And to do that, we want to go back to the Gcore portal and to CDN resources. We're going to click our app. We want to scroll down to SSL. We want to enable HTTPS and get a free Let's Encrypt certificate. And guess what? Things never do seem to go to plan, do they? So here's how we fix that error. First of all, we need to make sure we're pointing at both harryverity.xyz and www.harryverity.xyz. So let's add the www version in there as well. The next thing we do to fix the 404 and get our all-important SSL certificate is to update our domain settings. Now we already updated DNS, this is different. So we go to DNS and then name servers on GoDaddy and click change name servers. Select I'll use my own name servers and type these references in: nsgcorelabs.net and ns2gcnd.services. Press continue. Success. Now we've done that, we can go back to the CDN portal, select our app, and you can see this time I've been able to get a free SSL certificate from Let's Encrypt. Alright, so we've set up the HTML-to-Markdown template, we've created our CDN app on the FastEdge, and pointed that website Claude made for us that's hosted on GoDaddy to our app. Now we want to test it. So if we put in the curl command with the content negotiation header, you can see it is returning Markdown. we have those hashtags there. Let's copy it into OpenAI's token calculator, and you can see it uses 1,499 tokens. Now we're going to do the same with HTML. So we run the same request, but no header this time. And you can see it returns HTML. So let's compare how many tokens this uses. Oh wow, with HTML we have 8,024 tokens. So look at that, almost 8 times the amount of tokens with HTML. So there's huge token efficiency gains here. And remember, if we do this at scale and you have thousands of documents or pages, then this is huge. So there we have it. We just set up a CDN app on the FastEdge to call Markdown instead of HTML. Let's wrap up the video and talk about what this means for the future of the web. So here's what I want you to take away from this. The web was built for humans, and it will continue to serve humans beautifully. Nobody is suggesting you tear down your website and replace it with a markdown file. The dining room stays open, but the delivery window is about to become the busiest part of the restaurant. And right now, most websites are forcing every delivery rider to sit down, order from the full menu, wait for the appetizer, compliment the wine section, and then finally take the food. The question isn't whether this is going to happen, it's whether your infrastructure is ready when it does. Now if you want to set this up for your own site, we've published a step-by-step guide using Gcore FastEdge. There's a link in the description, and we've also written a blog post about it. And if you find this useful, well, you know the drill. Subscribe. Alright, thank you everyone. I'm super curious to hear if you've been using this. Do you think it's useful to deploy your website on FastEdge to convert from HTML to Markdown? And is it something that you're going to consider doing to make the life of AI agents easier and to perhaps get more traffic to chatbots? Let me know in the comments. Has it had an uptake in the number of traffic to your website from AI bots? And I will see you next week in the next video.